Does that song get to anybody else like it does me? It's such an amazing song. It was written by Paul McCartney in 1969. Time of the Vietnam War, other wars in the world. Let it be. Let go. Relax, don't worry. Put your faith in something bigger. That's what it says, something bigger. And I read something, and you can't always believe everything you read, but I read an article on that song because it had a lot of meaning and feeling for me. And it said that Paul McCartney's mother died when he was very young, and her name was Mary. And Mother Mary, which many of us attribute to the religious meaning of Mother Mary, and he was writing it about his mother, Mary. And it sort of lets us know there's many different ways to interpret things and meanings going on. It meant a lot, but it had a lot to say about today. And I thought about last week when I mentioned a quote by Mark Nepo, work hard and surrender. And I think that's what our life is about, learning how to work hard. I think we're all trying to be the best versions of ourselves. We're editing ourselves, at least are you? To be a better version, and sometimes the edits go really fast, and other times they take years and years. But we keep working on that, keep editing ourselves to be the best people we can be. And if we're really going to be the best people we can be, we have to let the light shine on us. The prophet Isaiah in the 8th century BC, said, "Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you." The light has come. The light is there. The light with a capital L is life with a capital L, divine life, the life of God. So light, which is love, which is God, which is life, is also the qualities of God. Our light and our life, when we really look at the light, the physical light around us, and of course that divine spark of light within us and around us, we mean that love is here, truth is here, beauty is here, wisdom is here, power is here, goodness is here, and peace is here. If we really focus on that light. Now, Ernest Holmes equated light with the sun. It shines on everything equally, continually, always, eternally, forever and ever. The light is always there. When Jesus said, "You are the light of the world," he told the truth. Except we're the light of the world when we have the switch on. And that's our hard work. We have the light within us. We have that light of spirit that's always shining on us, but we have to turn that switch on. We have to be open and available to the good. It's what you were saying this morning, Reverend Sage. The light is there, but are we accepting it? Are we allowing it to be that inspiration? Do we ignite that light within so we can be all that we're meant to be? You see, if we isolate ourselves from God, from goodness, from spirit, that light gets diminished. It never gets extinguished. It's always there, but it gets diminished. It's like going out from a sunshiny day where it's bright to walking into a dark, cold room when we separate ourselves. There's a reading that we've all heard many times, but for me, every time I hear it, it has the same potency and the same meaning. In fact, it came from a book from 1992 called Return to Love, but it got mistakenly quoted as written by Nelson Mandela because in his 1994 presidential inauguration speech, he used this. And I'm going to share it because it's what happens to us when we go in those dark rooms. We go in those places where we forget that we're never alone, that we get clouded by the darkness and the confusion in our minds and forget to move to something bigger and greater that's always there. So this is by Marianne Williamson from Return to Love. And she says our greatest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us the most. We ask ourselves in our insecurity, who am I to be brilliant, fabulous, gorgeous, and talented? Actually, who are you not to be? You, I, everyone, we're all children of God. And our playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so you won't make other people feel insecure. And here's the line. We are all meant to shine. We're all meant to shine just as children do. That's what we're here to do. That's our work, that's our practice, that's our surrender. We're meant to do that. We're born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in every one of us. As we let our own light shine, this is so important to remember. As we let our light shine, we unconsciously give other people the permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I think what she was saying in that is absolutely, we need to turn on that light, accept the light of our own being, because that will show us the way to lead, to follow. But we also have to welcome the darkness. The light shows us the way, but the darkness shows us the stars. And for me, the stars are those little pieces of inspiration, those little flashes of inspiration. Matthew Fox calls creativity the place where the divine and the human meet. That's that divine spark within us. That place when we ignite, there's something more, when we lift ourselves up to realize, I can move out of this creepy little place I'm in. I can move out of that dark, cold place in my mind where I get so trapped by all the things I'm thinking, all the confusion, all the negative thoughts. I can rise out of that when I ignite that inspiration within to know we can move to something greater. Now, I don't know when you came in here what condition your mental house was in. Have you been doing cleaning lately? Have you had any help with that? But if we think right now, will you just take a moment, right? Would anybody like to do a little house cleaning, mental house cleaning right now? I think we could, just to enter into this holiday season. Would that be a nice idea? So let's just take a minute, uncross yourself, and just be open, 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 open. We need to be open, 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 available, available, available. I'm open, I'm available. And just I invite you to close your eyes and let your mind just rest on your heart. It doesn't have to work too hard right now. We're going to let our thoughts be lifted right now. And if that place in your mind feels like a cold, dark room, I'm just going to invite you to lift up to that place of sunshine, the place of warmth, the place that is bigger than we are, but part of us. Just lift up and allow that beauty of the sun. Remember the sun, which is life. It is power. It is wisdom. It is truth. Let that light of spirit that is warm and peaceful penetrate every cell of your being. Let it penetrate every cell of your being. And let it do its work. Open. Open. Be available. As Ernest Holmes commands us, get out of the shadows. Open the windows of your mind and the door of your soul. Lift up into the place of enlightenment, where the light lifts us out of the darkness, out of the confusion, out of the depression, out of the loneliness, into a place where we feel fulfilled with the Spirit of God, of goodness, of truth and beauty and wisdom. And as you take a breath, knowing that God is as close as our breath, as we take a breath, we feel that spark within us it is ignited in that place of inspiration. of newness, of possibility, of vision and imagination. And that peace, that knowing, that wisdom is available every moment for us as we learn to use our spiritual tools to lift us, to raise us up, as we know there's always something more for us in every moment. So as you take a breath in and still feel those rays of divine light, the rays of wisdom and beauty and peace and power and harmony and joy, just allow that still to permeate, to radiate through your being as we come back to this room. And recognize that we are born, we are here to create. We are here to be inspired, to be an inspiration. We are here to be the vehicle, the vessel for God to do God's work through and as us, right here, right now. So as you take your nice deep breath, I just have to admit that my boyfriend Rumi is getting very jealous. I talked about Hafez. Rumi is the 13th century Sufi mystic, and Hafez is the 14th century Sufi mystic. And for some reason, I'm kind of leaning towards Hafez right now. So, sorry, Rumi. Anyway, Hafez said, I wish I could show you. I wish I could show you when you're depressed and lonely and uninspired in darkness, the astonishing light of your own being. I wish I could show that to you. Boom. The astonishing light of your own being. So if you can recognize being in those places sometimes where you don't feel like you have what it takes. Just like Marianne Williamson said, where you just don't feel like you're the one the light should shine upon. He goes on to say, how did the rose ever open its heart and give to this world all its beauty? It felt the encouragement of light against its being. It felt that encouragement of light against its being. Otherwise, we all remain too frightened. Too frightened. So there's a tool for the toolbox, a tool to use. And we do the little meditation about the dark room where the rays of light penetrate us. When Hafez wants to tell us and remind us about this astonishing light within us, he wants to tell us that. We can do that ourselves, the power of prayer and faith, the power of affirmative affirmation and contemplation with God. Emerson said, Ralph Waldo Emerson, that the most action, the right action, happens in the quietest moments, the quietest time. That's because if we're going to really be inspired, if we're going to be inspired to do the right thing, if we're going to be inspired, okay, what's next? What's possible for me now? What's God's highest vision for this moment for me? How do I get out of this mess? I mean, any of those questions, if we want the inspiration from that, we've got to go into those quiet moments. If not, the chatter of our mind is going to take over. We have to move through that space in the quietest moments. And in those quiet moments, Emerson went on to say that that's when we let the daylight shine through us, the daylight, the opening for us to be something even more. Now, we've had our song, This Little Light of Mine. I know it sounds like a little song, but it's so important. Gretchen, I'm going to ask you to come up, and Kirk, if you'll help for a minute. Ernest Holmes really commanded us to get out of the shadows. He commanded us to do the work and surrender, to do that work and surrender. And I'd like to read something from one of his books, and it's called Help for Today, and it was written, I'm not sure when it was written because it was a compilation of some different writings, but Ernest talked often about the light within us, the candle within us, the candle which we need to ignite ourselves and light ourselves by being open to the light of Spirit, but then it's ours to share. We recognize and remember life goes in circles. We can't just hold all of that in here. That's not enough. We won't be fulfilled. The greatest significance in life is when we share our light. In fact, the greatest is when we become a light in someone else's darkness. And we can remind that person that they're not alone. Buddha said, 1,000 candles can be lighted by a single candle. Happiness is never diminished when it is shared. So I want you just to, if you want to start a little bit, and then we'll do this reading by Ernest Holmes, and just imagine that he's here. Just in this moment, I want you to imagine that divine spark in you. I want you to imagine it, feel it, whatever way. You may see it, you may feel it, you may know it, you may hear it, but feel that spark. Let us light the candle of love, kindness, forgiveness, and understanding in our own soul. And let it shine brightly so it fills us to overflowing. Let us not focus on the darkness because it is foreboding or unknown. Let us remain steadfast and radiant in the spiritual light of truth which shines on our path. And we let it spread and open the way to light the way for others. Let us live each day from the wisdom and the power of the light from that candle, that spiritual truth that is unwavering. It's clear and understood not only by us, but that our life is so clear it is understood by others. Let us practice blessing and thinking kindly about others and realizing that all people are actually doing their very best that they know how to do. And we remember that no matter what the question is, love is the answer. I'll end today with a quote I shared again by Hafez last week. It stayed with me all week and still is so powerful. Even after all these years, the sun never says to the earth, you own me. Imagine, just imagine what a love like that can do. It can light the entire sky. Let it shine. Let it shine. Thank you for being here. Thank you for shining your light. And thank you for knowing with me that our vision is to light this world with love, possibilities, connection, and truth. I do love you all. I appreciate you. I see your light. Now let's shine.